Hi David, thanks for the footage. Things are looking good here. A lot of nice progress in regards to some of the changes that we made when we first met. Setup looks really good, really solid. I like that. Really good progress made in that regard. And really this could be one of the simplest online lessons I've ever given, because there's a lot of good stuff going on during that backswing. Nice and stable. You can tell you've been working on your takeaway, because there's a tendency to just follow the club back with your head. You can see there as you do that. So the head sort of follows the club. Looks like you've been working on things from P1 to P2, which is good. Left shoulder working down nicely. Weight staying forward nicely. The head following, by the way, is not a major issue. I mean, that'll diminish as you start to relax and work on other things. You can see as you're coming into the golf ball with both your driver and the iron, the tendency is to get the radius of the swing a little bit too wide, wrists a little bit too much uncocked. When the wrists uncock quickly, the club is going to be very much underplaying and behind the hands, as effectively you're raising the handle of the club. Raising the handle of the club pushes the club under and inside. So uncocking the wrist too quick, if you will, or having a position at P5.5 which is a little bit too much uncocked with the wrist, is going to produce a P6 where the club is very much on the inside, and you don't have to see it from down the line to see that that club is going to be approaching the ball too much from the inside. Low point as a result tends to move back. Right shoulder a little bit too low, that can cause the old drop kick. Club face closure a little bit too fast as well when you get that, and you can see as the swing progresses, hitting out at the ball too much. Left knee too flexed. So we need to tidy that up, and we need to look why we're arriving at this sort of position at P6 with the wrists very unhinged, left arm very much away from your body. We want the left arm more in line with the right thigh at that point, as we're going to see here with Charlie coming into the golf ball. That would suggest that low point's going to be more forward, club is going to be swinging more in line, contact's going to be better, control of the club face is going to be better, etc, etc. And we can see that this happens with both iron and driver. So radius of the swing is being maintained, and more importantly, the angle between the left arm and the shaft, which is the hinge in the wrist, has been maintained as well, whereas yours has already started to diminish well before we get into impact. You can see there now, wrists almost fully uncocked as you're coming into the golf ball. So tightening that up is your key. And if we look at why that happens, just take your driver back. One of the main issues is that the wrists don't really hinge too much going back. So all said and done about the backswing and the effects that has on the golf ball, your key issue really is at P3. There is no wrist hinge, or not enough wrist hinge, with both clubs. So if we look at the difference between yourself and Charlie at P3, there's been more of a loading of the wrist, so the wrist hinge vertically throughout the backswing. And you can see that by the time Charlie gets to P3, there's been more loading of the wrists, more cocking of the wrists during the backswing. So what I would be trying to work on, Dave, here is simply keep the work that you've been doing going. That's really good progress. From P1 to P3, we want the wrist to be fully set. So P1 to P3, wrist fully set, rather than the wrist setting very little, if at all. So 90 degrees hasn't been created by the time we get that left arm parallel with the ground there now. So we'd want more loading of the wrist from P1 to P3. And then the key thought then during the downswing is to maintain that wrist hinge all the way to P7 impact. Now the loading of the wrists from P1 to P3 is a feel. You need to consciously do that. The maintaining of the wrist angle from P4 to P6 and P7 is something that you're going to have to work in gradually. Now, if you go to my YouTube channel and go to the drills section, you're going to see a video on the drills video number 2, and on that video I do a drill where I maintain accumulator 2, so I maintain the angle in the wrist from P4 to P7. That would be the most appropriate drill for you to work on during your downswing. In regards to the backswing, we just want to feel that whether we're using driver or 3-wood or iron, that the wrists are continuously loading, so that by the time we get to P3, left arm parallel, we've created a 90-degree angle between the shaft and the left arm. That would be your key thought during your backswing. During the downswing, we don't want to throw that angle away, we want to maintain it for longer. The key thought for, or the key feel for that would be achieved via the drill that I've just advised you to go and look at. So like I said, looking good, progressing nicely. I look forward to seeing the progress over the coming weeks. Well done.